Hey guys, after I just filmed that video, I realized I never really introduced myself. I'm Kathy Brown. I'm a registered dietitian, yoga teacher, and instructor for 4th trimester fitness method. I have a daughter who just turned 1, which you'll hear about very soon in the video. And I like to help women connect with their bodies on both a physical and a nutritional level. Women's health has been a passion of mine for a very long time, but it's just recently that I've actually put it to practice and started helping women, both one-on-one and in group settings, with their nutrition, both during pregnancy and postpartum, and also toning and strengthening and preparing their bodies and minds for birth and the postpartum experience. So I hope you enjoy the video. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a fun video to bring to you today. Fun for me because I've been wanting to make this video for a year now. Today is my daughter's first birthday, and I would like to share with you our birth story. I personally listened to so many birth stories when I was pregnant, and it helped me to kind of visualize what could happen, what I wanted, and all of that good stuff. So I wanted to share that with you today. And this is going to be the start of a little series because I have been so nostalgic this past week, reflecting on our last year and having a baby and what that means and just all the growth that has happened and all of that. So I just want to share with you a lot of these thoughts that I've been having. So today I'm going to talk about our birth story. Then in the next several videos, I'm going to cover so many things from kind of my postpartum journey, baby registry stuff, the stuff that we used, the stuff that we didn't use so much. Oh my gosh, of course, what I brought to the hospital, what I used during my postpartum recovery, but also in terms of like fitness and health and all that kind of good stuff. So if there's anything else you want to know, I'm an open book. So let me know down in the comments, and I'm happy to share my experience. That's honestly why I started this channel to begin with, is because I like sharing experiences and I find value in watching other people's experiences, so I would like to share my own. So also, if you would be interested, I kind of want to get a couple of moms to share their birth stories as well on this channel. So if that sounds interesting to you, give this video a like, a thumbs up, whatever the kids are calling it these days. So without further ado, let's get into our birth story. So I have to start with my mom, actually, because she didn't tell me this, but the night before my daughter was born, my mom actually had a dream that I gave birth. So, which was kind of crazy. So on a Monday afternoon, I had just finished work, and I was about to be 1 week past due. So 41 weeks that Tuesday. So on Monday, my previous OB appointment, my doctor said, we want to schedule you for an induction. If you happen to give birth before that time, great. If not, this is kind of the day that is the last day. And that was Thursday of that week. So Monday, I told my boss that I was going to take the rest of the week off, because either way, I would be out on maternity leave starting that Thursday. And so I was planning on taking PTO, up until that point if necessary. And I had started doing a few different things to help kind of encourage labor to start. I wasn't forcing anything, but there were a lot of tips and tricks I learned from my doula that were really beneficial, and I think really helped kickstart everything. But baby will come when baby's ready. So that being said, so Monday night I closed my computer at 4:30 and decided to just chill, do some stretches, get on my yoga mat, just kind of, decompress from the day. And I swear, like, having that sense of I'm done with work is what kickstarted my labor, because by 5 o'clock, my water had broke. And this is my first baby, so I wasn't sure what to expect. I knew that it wasn't necessarily going to be like this big gush of explosion like you see in the movies, but I felt like I had just gone to the bathroom on myself. And I was like, this can't be, because I just went to the bathroom. There's no way. And so I went to the bathroom, came back, and there was still water running down my leg. And I was like, okay, I think my water just broke. I saw, I didn't know kind of what a mucus plug looked like. I didn't think I saw one or anything like that. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna call my doula. So I called my doula, and she's like, it does sound like your water broke, but call your hospital, let them know, and they'll give you, the steps and the procedure for their policy and procedure. So I called the hospital, and they said, yep, it sounds like your water did break, and that they wanted me to come in right away, because their policy is to, once your water breaks, the clock is kind of ticking, and that is just to help prevent infections and all of that stuff, which totally makes sense. I was hoping to labor at home as long as possible, but that, check number one, that did not happen. So we kind of took our time though, because we're fairly close to the hospital. We were only 15-20 minutes away. And so I ate a Cliff Bar. I was not hungry. I had all of these emotions of like excitement, and I was scared, and I was happy, and I was nervous, and I had all of these emotions flowing. Not hungry at all. Spoiler alert, I did not eat until 6:30 p.m. the next day, and I still wasn't that hungry, but I'll get to that in a minute. So I grabbed a Cliff Bar just because I knew I would need something, and we had our bags already packed, so that was easy. We snapped our last little bump photo, and yeah, we got ready and got in the car. So we got to the hospital around 6 p.m., 6:15, and our doula was there, shortly after. We checked in because it was the time of the pandemic of COVID. We had a temperature screening and all of that good stuff. My husband lugged our stuff up into the room, and that is where we stayed for the next 26 hours. Because of the pandemic, we were not allowed to walk around the halls, which was unfortunately checkbox number 2 that did not get fulfilled. That is no one's fault other than the pandemic, which is no one's fault. So, kind of confined to my room, which was unfortunate, but I was able to be mobile in my room. I had an IV port. That was a request from the hospital that if I didn't have an IV in, I at least had the port put in just in case, which I was okay with. So I had that. I was able to move around, go to the bathroom. I'm sitting on my birth ball right now, and I could use that. So many things. My doula also had a bag of tricks up her sleeve of all these different positions to kind of do contractions through. Oh, before I get ahead of myself even further, I did not actually experience any contractions, not even Braxton Hicks, until my water broke. I was feeling nothing. So once my water broke, it took about 30 to 45 minutes for me to feel those contractions starting. So I was really excited at the beginning too. I was like, ooh, this is fun. And so I was laboring, progressing, contractions were getting stronger, and we were at the hospital, and that was pretty much it throughout the entire night. So we're moving around in the room, using the birth ball, using different props on the bed. I was, not wanting to rest. I had a lot of energy, so I wanted to keep moving as much as I could, even though it was kind of the middle of the night. I did rest a little bit, but not very much. So the next morning comes, there was at about 8 a.m., there was a doctor change happening. So the nighttime doctor was leaving, the daytime doctor was coming in, and so they wanted to check for dilation. And so they did a check. I was only at, I believe, like 2 centimeters or less. It wasn't very much, especially for laboring for, oh my gosh, how many hours is that? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 hours-ish? My math is wrong. Either way, from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m., 5 to 5 is 12, 15 hours. Laboring for 15 hours, 2 centimeters dilated. So not a crazy amount of progression. I wasn't expecting too much though, because my contractions weren't that intense. I felt them, but they weren't like crazy. I was still talking, smiling, laughing, all that good stuff. So then by the time it rolled around to 11 o'clock noon was when, the doctor came in and said, we'd really, we're going to offer you Pitocin to kind of get things moving, just because of all the things that were happening. I wasn't dilating too much, baby wasn't dropping very much, the station of the baby hadn't changed too much, and all of that. And because of all that, because of that window of infection, I went ahead and started the very lowest possible dose of Pitocin possible, because I still wanted a unmedicated birth, in a sense of no pain medication. So started that, and I was on that for about 3 hours, and they slowly increased that, and by the time that 3 hours had gotten up to, I was in a lot of pain. I was not feeling great. I felt like I had lost control of my body. My body would shake a lot. I kept refusing water. I didn't have to go to the bathroom. I couldn't find that sense of calm between contractions anymore. And later my husband told me that I was very pale. And so through that, I did end up asking for an epidural, which again, I didn't plan for, but I'm okay with because of how everything went, because the birth didn't start the way I anticipated it. So it's okay for things to not go the way you plan. So after that, I got the epidural, felt instant relief. I was able to breathe through contractions. I was able to still feel them, but they were subdued. So I could feel every single contraction come and go, but I could breathe through it. I was even talking a little bit through them, and all that good stuff. So then a couple hours later, started feeling the urge to push, which is a hard thing to describe, but literally your body does take over. It's not something that you can be like, I wonder if I'm ready to push. Like, your body goes, no, it's time to push right now. And the best part was that, of course, it's just the nurses, because the OB is taking care of other patients at that time. And so when you start getting that urge to push, they say, okay, wait, let's go get the doctor. You're like, I can't wait. I want to push this baby right now. And you're telling me to wait, and I have to fight this urge that is so strong. And so waited for the doctor. Luckily, it wasn't very long. It feels like an eternity, but it wasn't very long. And so yeah, doctor came in, and I ended up pushing for about 45 minutes, which it felt so much shorter than that, honestly, because you're so focused. You have your birth partners and the nurses counting and coaching you through all of this, and it's so much work. You can't do anything but pay attention and be so present. It's amazing how it just forces you to be in the present moment, because there's literally nothing else you can think of at that time. And then at 4:00 in the afternoon on that Tuesday, my daughter was born, and it was so beautiful because my husband was being a rock through this entire process. He was there by my side. He helped me labor. He helped be that support during contractions. I have to get to tell you about that in a second when I was getting the epidural. But double hip squeeze, massaging my back, and just physically being a support, both physically and mentally. And he, as soon as our daughter was born, he just let all those emotions out, and it was so beautiful. It made my heart so full. So our daughter was born. She came right onto my chest right away, and from there we became a happy little family of 3. But I did want to mention, during the epidural, if you've never had one before, it goes into your spine, and you actually have to do it through a contraction. And so you have to sit up. So I was sitting up on the side of the bed, and you have to be very still so that the anesthesiologist can place it properly. And it's hard to be still through a good contraction, because they were good at that point. And so my husband was standing in front of me, and I had my hands around his waist, and the top of my head was pressing into his chest. And each contraction, I would squeeze his waist and press my head into his chest, and that's how I got through it, to stay still during a contraction. So all the things, the crazy things you do, it was complete, just like that's what my body wanted to do. Like, I didn't think about it at all. It was just complete reaction. And because he was standing there, I was just like, come here, and then just head into the chest and holding on through the contractions. So you kind of do what you need to do, and go forth. So that is a very brief overview of my birth story with our daughter. And I would love to know if you have any questions or would like to know more details about using the birth ball. What the heck is a doula? If you've never heard about a doula, I would love to tell you about doulas and how amazing I think they are. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I'm an open book, so if you have questions or would like to know more about my birth experience or some tips and tricks about preparing for birth, or my postpartum journey, about what I did after my daughter was born and that experience, going to the bathroom for the first time, all the excessive things that come out after birth that no one talks about, I'm happy to share. There's no TMI with me. So keep that in mind when you're asking questions. I don't have a TMI filter when it comes to the human body, especially women's health. So ask away. I'm happy to answer. And if I don't know the answer, I'm happy to point you to a professional who does. So, chatty video coming to an end. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.